guide and everything?
I need more.
Well, there's plenty of chocolate cake, but I wrote you guys out a little guide because I have learned so much in this program and it's been so cool, and I feel like I have so much information to share. So I don't even know where to start, but I tried to narrow it down to one index card, so I'll hope for the best. But I kind of wanted to just give you a brief explanation of how I got into nutrition, the long years it's taken me to get to this point, and a little bit of information just to help you guys kind of understand how your body's working, what it's trying to tell you, and things you can do to try and feel better, because that's really my ultimate goal, is just to help people feel good. We don't want to feel like shit all the time. So there's things that you can do to help yourself have more energy and have less symptoms and just feel better on a daily basis. But I got into nutrition a couple years ago because when I was 22, I had just graduated college, and I had just gotten my dream job as a photo assistant at Neiman's, and I really thought it was going to be the best time of my life, and I was so excited, and I just knew I had so much ahead of me, and for whatever reason I just started experiencing all these really random health issues, and I didn't know where they were coming from, and I was waking up on a daily basis completely exhausted all the time, and I had no idea what was going on, and they only kind of got worse as the days and years went on, and I started trying to figure out what was going on, and as a 22-year-old, I had no idea what I was doing, so I was I'm just going to go to all the doctors and get all the tests done and just have them tell me what to do. And I think I probably went to 8 different doctors, and they couldn't figure out anything that was wrong, not a thing. And I'm this is crazy, I feel horrible, something has to be wrong. I just don't have energy, I don't feel young, and it wasn't until one of my doctors was well, maybe you should try antidepressants. And I was that's weird, I'm not a depressed person, why would I take antidepressants? And they're well, it might just help with your fatigue, it'll give you some more energy. And I'm that makes no sense, I don't want to do that. There has to be another answer. And it wasn't until 2 years later that I finally got some kind of answer with a thyroid doctor and a endocrinologist that found out I had an autoimmune disease, which is pretty much when your body is experiencing a lot of inflammation, so your immune system will attack your body's own cells. And it's something really common, and it sounds really crazy, but it's really hard to diagnose because your immune system's not always flaring, and when it's not, you feel totally fine, but then when it does, all of a sudden out of nowhere you feel horrible for 2 weeks, and you're why do I feel sick? And so that kind of started painting a picture of understanding what was going on inside of my body, and I tried a couple different medications, trying to get my thyroid balanced and stuff, but finally the doctor was well, if nothing else is working, you could try going gluten-free. And I was what? What does gluten have anything to do with my thyroid? And at the time, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but that was the beginning of the end. So at that point, I started just Googling, and I was gluten and thyroid, gluten and health, what does this mean? Why do I feel horrible still? And it started teaching me about paleo diet and a more natural diet, and one where your body can really start healing itself when you remove foods that are causing inflammation, causing symptoms, and really just kind of getting down to the bottom of where it's all coming from and healing your way back from there. So at that point, I was just ready to try anything. I'm I just want to feel good again. And I went paleo, 100% paleo, and about 3 weeks later, I was a totally different person. I went from looking I was 5 months bloated to having a flat stomach. I had energy when I woke up again. I felt like myself again, and I didn't realize how much anxiety I was experiencing, and symptoms I didn't even realize I had that went away after I started eating a more clean, fewer ingredients diet. So at that point, I just realized, holy crap, this is crazy. Everybody could feel so good if they knew, what was in their food and how their food was affecting them. And at that point, I decided, I gotta go get educated. I need to learn as much as I can learn to really like help people understand how they can take control of their own health and like understand what your body's trying to tell you. So I found an amazing program that's out of Seattle that's online, and I'll be certified as a nutrition therapy practitioner, which is somebody that can basically like sit down with you, talk about your symptoms, and kind of figure out like where the problem's coming from. And it all has to do with just like foundational health things like digestion, blood sugar, and like hormone balancing, and all these things we kind of hear like, oh, maybe that might be something you're dealing with. But I think the biggest thing that I've taken away from the class is that like symptoms aren't normal, and they're really just your body's cry for help, and it's trying to tell you something. So just listen to it, and there are ways that you can try to feel better. So on this guide, there's like a bunch of words, there's a bunch of explanations of a lot of things, but these are pretty much the highest quality ingredients you can get. And this is what I base everybody and everything I do off of. And it doesn't, I know there's like a lot of keywords, like the first thing on protein is grass-fed. And I know a lot of people are like, why would I spend $3 more a pound on beef when I can just have normal beef? But grass-fed beef actually, it has to do with the way that the cow's been raised. So when it's raised grass-fed, the cow actually has a lot of omega-3s in its meat, like just as much as salmon, which people are like, I can't get enough healthy fats because I don't eat fish all the time. But if you get grass-fed beef, like there's another way of getting omega-3s. And same with all the other proteins, like all of them are just raised in a better environment. So when you eat it, like you still feel energized. Like meat doesn't have to be something you should be afraid of or be bad for you. It's just about finding like the cleanest, best raised, highest quality version of protein. But fats are huge, and fats are so good for you guys. Like they give us so much energy, they make food taste good. Like you can put butter on stuff. Butter does not have to be bad for you. We need fats. Just it's like the building blocks of our cells are fats, and when we don't get enough healthy fats, like we will just start experiencing symptoms. It's kind of just inevitable. And it's also like what fuels us. So if we're eating good quality fats, like you're not gonna get fat, it just gives you good energy. So that's something I'm like, don't be afraid, eat those avocados, like put more butter on your food. So I don't wanna freak you guys out too much. Like you're not just gonna like go and cut out all the foods you're eating. I just really wanna give you guys the information if this is something you're interested in, because there's so much stuff online that there's no way to really delegate like what's right and what's wrong and what's good for me, but everybody's just so different, so you kind of have to figure it out on your own. There's not really a one size fits all when it comes to diet. Like I know like keto and intermittent fasting right now is really popular, and that can be really, really great for some people, but if you start eating that way and you feel horrible, like listen to that, it's probably not the right thing for you. But like I still eat pizza, and I still eat pasta and burgers and sweet potato fries, and there's little like replacements for everything you can think of. Like spaghetti, you can make your own like zucchini noodles or spaghetti squash or butternut squash noodles, and there's like really great pizza crusts that you can buy in like boxes at Whole Foods. There's a really great brand called Simple Mills. I put them in here. And like desserts, like chocolate cakes, literally, it sounds insane, but it's gluten, dairy, soy, grain, and refined sugar free. Like it's made from all real food that's gonna make you feel real good. So my whole point here is that I really want you guys to feel like if there's something, like some health related thing you're experiencing that is debilitating to your life, to be able to come to me and talk to me, and I can walk you through ways to do like elimination diets, or like go with you to the grocery store, or just little things that seem like it's a hard transition to make, but it's really just like one little step at a time, and little things add up. And even if you just switch like your cooking oil to olive oil, like that itself will make a big difference. But besides that, there's like a couple different little lifestyle adjustments that you can do to, if food's not your main priority. Like managing stress is such a huge one for our bodies. Like we don't realize how much stress affects us on a daily basis, but even just like driving to work, avoiding traffic, like you're stressed, and it actually like lowers in the amount of stomach acid we produce. It actually helps us digest our food when we're stressed. So eating in like a stressful environment or like on the road or on the go, like your body's not gonna get the nutrients of the food you're eating if you're stressed. So just even sitting down, relaxing, taking a deep breath right before you eat, like that'll make such a big difference. But besides that, like just anything you can do to relax like a little bit on a daily basis. Like just try to check in with yourself and do whatever it does or whatever feels good to you. But something that Shelly is always yelling at people about that is so valid is water. And I know we all try really hard to drink a lot of water, but there actually is, we get 30% of our hydration from food if we're eating like real food, like fruit and vegetables, even meat. There's water in that food too. So if you're eating like like real food, you're getting some hydration from that. But as a fact, if you're not drinking at least half your weight in ounces of water, you're not getting enough. That's how much you should drink. And even if you're drinking like coffee or tea or like any diuretics that are dehydrating, you have to drink more water. And even that alone, like if you're having a headache or if you feel a little tired, just try water. It's so easy and it'll make you feel so much better. But exercise is such a big one, and it really doesn't have to make you feel like intimidated at the gym. Like it's not like you gotta go to CrossFit just to be healthy exercising. Like just taking your dog on a walk and for like 20 to 30 minutes at night, just to get your kind of heart rate up and get your muscles a little warm is enough. You know, like that's enough, and that's a good place to start. But a big one is actually socializing. Like human interaction is so good for stress, and it's something we don't really realize that we need. But even just like grabbing dinner with a friend or like doing something just to unwind and have a relaxing conversation with somebody, just that like interaction with another person can give you like community and support, and that's something that's really great for just feeling good in your life. So basically my point here is you can feel good, you can be healthy, and it doesn't have to be super restrictive, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can still eat all the same foods you love, even add some butter. Like, we don't need to be afraid of butter. And if you guys have questions, like I want you to be able to ask me or feel comfortable with that, because I really just want to like help people feel good. That's my ultimate goal, because life is not as worth living when we don't feel good. So if you have any questions now, feel free to ask. I'm open to them. Or you can also come to me privately if it's something you don't want to talk about in front of everybody. But besides that, there's still a bunch of chocolate cake. So thank you guys for listening.
Everybody got questions. Everybody raise one.
So under healthy fats, it says mayonnaise. Yeah. Please explain.
Okay.
So,
Real Mickey moves.
So a mayonnaise is made with like good ingredients, like better quality oils, like avocado oil. Because literally mayonnaise is just eggs and salt and vinegar and oil. That's all mayonnaise is. So I know like Whole Foods and Sprouts and stuff sell some, but I've even made my own before. It's a little complicated, so if you don't want to do that, there's options in the store. But even Costco sells this like huge like paleo mayonnaise. Like I think it's made with avocado oil. It's really good. So just looking out for things like that, like avoiding canola or vegetable oils. So it's mostly, and a lot of them have sugar too. What about someone in the same scenario?
Whenever she was looking just
just like looking out for ingredients. There's some, I know there's some good
Sir
quality
Kensington
ketchup.
does a good,
Yeah.
nice ketchup.
And it's made with like tomato and like coconut sugar or like ingredients that aren't gonna like make you feel tired. Or, okay, cool.
What kind of sugar on it?
Maple syrup.
That don't taste like real sugar.
Well,
I don't believe you, Mel. I think it's purcane imperial sugar in her.
So look at sugar.
This cake is delicious. It's real good.
Awesome.
It's soft. It's melty. And you know I'm a fat girl, and
I'm gonna get you to eat green vegetables.
I just do not believe ain't no real sugar.
Get you to eat green.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Melanie, when you said you felt terrible, like back when you started, like on a scale of 1 to 10, like how awful did you feel?
I was like, I mean, at the time I didn't realize it was a 10 because I just thought I kind of thought it was normal.
Yeah.
Like at the time I was like, wow, I guess I just have to get used to being an adult. Like, and I was like right out of college, like maybe this is what it feels like to have to work 8 hours a day. But the more I started feeling better and started like eating the way I'm supposed to, figuring out what's going on, like I realized like it was probably a 10. Like at times I had to drink 3 or 4 cups of coffee throughout the day just to like not fall asleep at the wheel on my way home.
Did you feel like
All the time.
Like I couldn't. There were times at work I'd have to like sit down for long periods of time just because I was like, I felt like my muscles were just not like working.
You get home
And
from work and it would just be.
yeah, I couldn't do anything at work. Like I was just tired all the time. Yes.
So no sugar, not even in not.
I don't believe it.
And like it's just it's not a processed sugar. I think because our body knows how to handle maple syrup and honey better because it hasn't been processed. But like things like refined white sugar are things that have had like all of its nutrients stripped out of it. So it's just left with this like empty thing that your body's like, what is that? Like why am I eating that? And just
It's great, Mel. It just melts in your mouth.
hello. I'm so yes.
So what sugars are good sugars and what are bad sugars?
So bad sugars are really those that are like the processed ones. Like even agave is not that great. It's all about like finding one that's low glycemic, which is kind of the scale for blood sugar that doesn't spike your blood sugar too high. So it kind of rides this line of like, oh, okay, that's like not super like unusual. Isn't gonna make you feel all crazy and then make you crash real fast. So things like maple syrup, honey, coconut sugar, dates, date sugar, date syrup. There's like a coconut syrup. I think did I write them in here or no? No, I don't think I did. I think those are like the main ones that are in a lot of the desserts I eat. Yeah.
What is your opinion of turbinado sugar and stevia?
I like stevia. I think, I mean, turbinado and cane sugar are obviously like, they're less processed, but they are higher glycemic. So it's not the worst thing for you. It's better than white sugar, but it's still gonna have like the same effects that normal sugar does. And sugar is actually like such a big one that I will recommend, like if you don't feel good, like there's nothing, your body does not need sugar. Like if we cut it out completely, we'd be fine and we'd feel better. But like we need like the proteins and the fats that are like essential, and then even like fruit sugar and dates and stuff like that are made from real like whole foods. Our body can handle way better, and it's not going to make us have headaches or make us feel fatigued. But yeah, turbinado and cane they're okay. They're okay. That's my opinion.
Alright.
Brad.
Do you ever use Swerve, like sugar replacement?
The only sugar replacement I use is stevia. All the other ones are kind of artificial, and sometimes they can kind of confuse your body because when we eat something sweet, our blood sugar still tries to like meet that sweetness. They expect that sweetness, so it can actually end up like balancing, like making our hormones kind of freak out because it still stresses. Anytime you eat anything sweet or sugar related, it sends that stress hormone like to your body because it's something that like they have to calm you down because sugar raises you up, you know. So Stevia is like a natural version that's not too sweet that your body can kind of recognize more than like, what are they called? Like the aspartame and like, I can't even remember the names of them now. I haven't seen them forever.
So that's like Diet Coke.
Yeah. So that can contribute to like hormonal imbalances and stuff. But stevia is probably the only one I would recommend. Yeah, if you have any other, oh yeah, I do.
On page 4.
Yes.
Okay, so if I were to go
Next
into any
to.
of these stores, like Whole Foods, Central Market, Sprouts, is it safe to say that anything I choose will be, no? Okay.
No, unfortunately. I mean, there's like a good list online if you want to look up. And I hate to put labels on a diet, but paleo really is the one that I always look for if I'm like Googling up or Pinteresting or a recipe or something. Like both of these are paleo. The reason I always go back to paleo is because those are the ingredients that are the most natural that like our body can know how to process. And like I even put a lot of this isn't like peanut butter and things, those still aren't paleo, but like not everybody has to do it that much, you know. Even if you just start cutting like one little thing out or another little thing out, you can really. There's a girl, I love her. I follow her on YouTube called the Paleo Chef. It calls it Paleo because you're trying to figure out like what's best for you, and you can kind of manipulate. But yeah, that's always the word I look for. So if you're like looking for a salad dressing or looking for mayonnaise, like just Google like paleo mayonnaise, and like it'll show you which ones have like, the best ingredients.
Okay. Yes.
So a vegetarian diet is not eating meat. What does a paleo diet entail?
Just meat.
Yeah. Meat alone. All the bacon. It removes, it's an anti-inflammatory diet. So it's pretty much removing all the things that are inflammatory to the digestive system. So, and that's kind of the goal. If for like things like autoimmunity or if you're having some kind of like immune issue, if you're getting sick all the time, like it's your immune system that's freaking out. So getting that to calm down is pretty much the goal of a diet like paleo. It's removing gluten, dairy, grains, soy, legumes, and refined sugar. So it's pretty much like meat, fats like fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, anything that just kind of comes from the earth and that's real, hasn't been processed, as clean as it gets. Yeah. I'm here all the time.
Any
so.
diets we should stay away from?
Low fat.
Low fat?
Yeah, low fat diet is not good for you. We need fats for anything in our body to work the right way. And fats are very, very healing. They can be really good for, like our hormones are built from the fat we eat. So even that alone, like if you're not getting enough fat, you can experience anxiety and depression, and a lot of health-related issues. And just like even adding in like eggs or like a little bit more avocado or a little bit more fish oil. Fish oil is such a big one. I recommend to everybody. Like if you buy any supplement, try to get a good fish oil supplement because we can never get too much healthy fats in our diet. And unless like you start eating keto and like really, really high fat and all of a sudden you feel horrible. There's a limit on it, you know, you gotta figure out what works best for you. So yeah, that's the only one I probably would.
Yeah.
I noticed there wasn't a food group on here. Alcohol?
Yes, mate. That is a food group, yes.
This is the top of the pyramid. I mean, come on.
So, do you have any suggestions, or is there like better, or do you just stay away from it because it's obviously bad for you, or what is there?
It's not bad for you in limits, like, you know.
Moderation.
Yeah. in
But like wine is supposedly good for your heart. Is that like, is stuff like that actually true? Or is that just stuff that the news likes to report on to make all the alcoholics feel good?
I think like wine does have some healthful benefits to it, you know, and like I don't think it's gonna kill anybody if you have a glass of wine a day. Like I think the wine that I drink is an organic sulfite-free wine, and that's just the one I feel best drinking because it like I know sometimes like it's a liver issue if your body can't really like handle sulfites, and it can cause like headaches and things like that, or like worse hangovers. You can buy that like at grocery stores for like $10. It's not like it's more expensive. But I would probably go for ones that aren't like super sugar based, like vodka, whiskey, tequila.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. And always, drinking water while you're drinking alcohol, obviously. But a good tip actually for avoiding hangovers is if you eat like a lean protein right before you start drinking. That can kind of help stabilize that blood sugar and like stabilize your like body detox so that it'll work the right way and you won't feel horrible and you won't feel kind of dizzy. But
Thanks for that tip.
yeah. But any like little swaps you can do like in place of like juice, like fruit juice, alcoholic beverages is just so high in sugar and that even just can contribute to like hangovers and like I know a lot of people have sometimes like alcohol or sugary drinks can kind of like break your skin out or like make your skin look a little like patchy. So I'll recommend things like flavored soda waters or that's probably my go-to. Or even just like making your own margarita mix, like with like fresh lime juice and a little bit of whatever sweetener you want. I think and Moscow Mules I always make with ginger kombucha instead of ginger beer. So that's a really good little swap. Yeah. Or just straight shots. Yeah. It's a good tip. But yeah, just like listening to your body on that one. I think because everybody's different. Everybody's tolerates like you can tolerate more or less. Just kind of understanding like, oh, like I feel horrible. Maybe I shouldn't have had that much. But just common sense. Ain't that ass? Oh yeah.
Did you say no cheese?
I didn't say no cheese. Well, so that's kind of one of those like iffy paleo things because cheese is natural, like it comes from a cow. So it's not the worst, but some people just can't tolerate dairy. So just understanding like, can I eat it or can I not? But cheese and dairy, like the best for you, there's actually really, really, really great like fats and proteins in dairy that can be really great for you. If you find like a good one that hasn't been super pasteurized. And what I've been recommended to do that I haven't done is actually like you can Google farms in the area that sell raw dairy.
Yep.
And it sounds crazy and it used to be illegal to get raw dairy, but it's not anymore. It's totally healthy and fine. It's not gonna do anything weird to you. But it's supposed to be really, really great for you. And like whole milk even, you shouldn't be afraid of fats when it comes to dairy because they're good fats for you. So even just doing a little bit more research, like and finding out like cheeses that maybe haven't been through that process of stripping it of all of its nutrients, because that's kind of what like the processing and pasteurization does to dairy. Yeah, finding it in its rawest form. And I think I have some info on there for dairy. Yeah. Oh, any more questions?
Mom, I just want to take you shopping.
I would love to. I love the grocery store.
She does love the grocery store.
It's been way too long there.
Oh, man.
Would want current produce prices, go to Men's.
Go to that.
I know the cheapest at the different stores. But thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. Pieces of cake.